Dun-dun-dun-dun.
And that was a great intro, everybody. Welcome to part 10. If you're still around, then God bless you. Moving on for the rest of Just a Space Cowboys questions. Part 2 is, have you read any of the Batman runs from Alan Grant or Norm Breyfogle?
No.
I read some of Alan Grant's, never of Norm Breyfogle's. He says that this is his favorite Batman run. I'm pretty sure, I don't doubt that because I've read some of Breyfogle's other stuff here and there. But I have read Alan Grant stuff.
Breyfogle was the artist, right?
Yeah.
Well, wait, yeah, artist. You see what this Q&A's doing to me?
I read the DC retroactive issue they did, which was good, but that's all I've read of them.
Yeah. If Manos
Ironically enough, they sold out of that one at my shop, and I wanted to actually check that out.
Yeah. If Manos were here, he'd beat us all senseless for not knowing this run.
Oh crap! I have to tell him this later.
Next day I'd see him kick down my front door and be like, "We have to have a talk." Yes, sir.
He'll be dressed as Red Knight.
Okay, third question is, what is one thing that you like that other people hate? It can be anything. Adventure Time.
Give me a moment to think here.
I have one.
Say it.
The Legend of Zelda cartoon from the 80s.
I like some of the Disney seasons of Power Rangers that aren't Dino Thunder. Dino Thunder's the only sacred cow from Disney. Though that and Wild Force, technically. All the other ones get shit. And I'll admit some of them are pretty unwatchable, or tough to watch. Operation Overdrive's theme song could die. But I really liked SPD. I liked Ninja Storm. Was okay with Mystic Force, and then they started losing me. I love Samurai, by the way, if anyone's curious.
Don't worry, they are. I think for the other shows and stuff I liked Bruce Jones's Hulk run. Surprisingly, a lot of people hate that.
I like the beginning of that. Towards the end, I didn't care for it as much.
Yeah. What else is there? Actually, The Batman. That gets a lot of hate.
Oh yeah, the last two seasons of that show are honestly pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm not going to defend all of the first three. That gets a little iffy.
Yeah. And of course, well, I couldn't say Batman Brave and the Bold because there's a lot of people who like it now, and surprisingly, these people are saying, "Oh, we can't get rid of it," and yet these people earlier were saying, "Oh, this is shit. This isn't Batman."
Yeah, I like the 60s show, too. A lot of people don't like that, because it's not dark and gritty Batman.
Yeah. Fourth question. Do you guys want to move on to the fourth question?
Yeah.
Sure.
Fourth question. If you could go back in time for only 15 minutes, what would you do? I have no idea why I'm putting this little thing, and you don't have to read it.
Okay, I'm going to set up a scene for you. I emerge in the middle of a street and get hit by a car. The guy who comes out grabs me and then tells me and then I tell him what happens. Don't work for Marvel, Jeff Loeb. No good will come of it. No good will, and then I'll vanish.
Yeah. Or no,
That'll
just
scare the shit out of him.
no, it'd be like Jeff Loeb, Bad Wolf.
Yes. If you write Rolk, I will kick your ass in the future. Granted, that might get me horribly injured, but worth it.
If I could only go back in time for 15 minutes, I'd like to hang out with my great-grandfather when he was in the prime of his life. Because for those who don't know, my great-grandfather, what he did on a daily basis was beat people up from the Navy at the docks.
That is badass.
Yeah. And keep in mind, it was the 30s, and in his prime, this man was a giant. And he could rock a Speedo.
Dude.
Uh,
Badass.
my grandmother has told stories of this man picking up people and throwing them like they were toothpicks.
I envy you.
Why is that?
He sounds awesome.
Yeah. So I'd like to at least spend 15 minutes with my great grandfather in his prime, or at least 15 minutes. Because when at the tour, I was 13 or 14 when he passed away, and I really regret this, but if I could spend 15 more minutes with him before, like towards the end, because it was just really bad, I'd like to spend 15 more minutes with him. And even my great grandmother, who passed away 3 months earlier, or 6 months. I'd like to at least spend 15 minutes with them. Just 15 more minutes with them, just sitting at the house, just talking. I'd really enjoy that.
That's awesome, man.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, sorry to go all emotional there.
No, that's cool.
No, that was perfect.
So thank you for the questions, Just a Space Cowboy. Moving on to Goku 48017. Greatest game of all time.
Tetris.
Dig Dug.
Ocarina of Time.
Yes. How did you get into comics? Quick synopsis of how I got into comics. First off, it was the animated shows. I watched the Batman and Spider-Man and X-Men cartoons long before the comics. The first time I did read comics was when my mom... does anyone remember what the Scott's hardware store was?
No. I don't think they had those up here.
Oh, Scott...
I don't think they do either.
Well, Scott's were these hardware stores that were kind of like... they were kind of like a mixture of Lowe's and Big Lots put together. And what they had in one of these Scott's were these comic books in little boxes, and they had a little collected story arc. It wasn't really trades; it was just a few issues of a story arc. And my mother, when we were, and keep in mind this is when I was 9, or even younger than that. She bought me and my brother. She got me a Spider-Man story arc with the Jury. And him, the Iron Man story arc, I don't even remember it. I remember it was Iron Man. And after that, she also got me a Venom story, which, shockingly, I lost all these issues.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even know, bags and boards? You can keep these issues? Oh, wait, I'll just leave them, oh, wait, they just flushed down the toilet.
You're telling me that they're more useful to read than for my grandpa to use as a napkin? Because my grandpa would do that. They would, back when they were cheaper, they would buy it and then use it for shit like that. If they ran out of paper towels, they'd just use it to clean stuff. And I never cared, but that was when I was a kid and didn't really care for reading them. I just liked the pictures. How I got into comics, what happened was we were driving. Some guy magically appeared in front of our car. No, I'm kidding. And honestly, this may sound weird. I got Superman Doomsday on DVD, and it kind of told me what graphic novels were. I didn't know what they were until then, and I was like, wow, that sounds cool. And luck so had it that, have you guys ever heard of B. Daltons?
No.
No.
Basically, I don't think they're around anymore. If they're not, then this sentence makes sense. If they are, then this sentence makes less sense. They're basically just tiny Barnes and Nobles for malls.
Oh.
They're we can't make a whole, because we can't fit a whole giant bookstore, so let's make a tiny one. They were going out of business, and they were selling stuff for cheap, and I got the first two trades I got were Dark Knight Returns and Dark Knight Strikes Again, and after that I got a bug for it and own almost 200 graphic novels, I think, now, and I'm doing comic news. I'm hanging out with you jokers. I have gotten a couple phone numbers of some really cute geek girls. It's worked out great.
Oh, man.
Their boyfriends weren't happy about that, but damn it, I enjoyed it.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
What about you, Dan?
Like you, I watched the TV shows as a kid, mainly Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, Hulk, and X-Men.
Same here. I want to mention that. I always watched cartoons, but I wasn't like a big comic reader.
Yeah. The thing with me is I watched those shows, and Spider-Man was always my favorite one, as you guys can probably tell. And when I was 7, my mom, we had one TV in the house, and we didn't own, a video game system or anything yet. So, my parents would watch the TV, so, to entertain myself, I would read books. Weird, I know. So, one day, we went into the bookstore on a weekend. I was with my mom, and she's like, pick something that you want. And I couldn't find anything, and I found, at a Borders, they had a comic book rack, and I found the second issue of Ultimate Spider-Man when I was, 7, and I bought it and took it home and read it, 30 times, and here I am today.
And Brian Michael Bendis stole his soul for that.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's awesome. But moving on, you guys want to move on to the third question?
Yep.
Number one comic book you want to see turned into a movie? I think we covered this earlier, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, we could give different ones, but I don't know. Duke hasn't said his.
Yeah.
I get Flash, Wonder Woman, the basic ones who deserve one.
Mm-hmm.
If you want me to give you an obscure one, I'm thinking I don't want to. Green Arrow, I honestly treat him more on that B-list side than A-list, even though he should be treated like one right now, but apparently they can't get a writer to stay on his book.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of walks the line between A and B list.
I'm going to go for some obscure comic book characters I'd like to see in a movie, or titles. Umbrella Academy.
Okay.
The Nobodies.
Don't know much about that one.
It was some little mini comic I read from Epic Comics.
Oh, okay.
I think that was from Epic Comics. It was a long time ago. Oh wait, it wasn't the Nobodies, it was the Invisibles. Why did I say Nobodies?
Oh, that I know. That's Morrison.
Yeah, of course. See what this... Like I said, this Q&A is ruining my mind. I think for another one, I'm gonna go with the Witchfinder. That other Mike Mignola character.
Cool.
So.
The only other one I can think of that I didn't say before is I think I don't know. I think Martian Manhunter could make an interesting movie. I don't know how well it would sell or if it even get made, but I think it would be interesting.
I want him to have his own damn series.
Yeah.
Yeah. A mini-series before Final Crisis doesn't count, TC.
Oh yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Stupid relaunch making me forget things. And his final question is, number one video you want a video game turned into a movie? None, because they all suck.
I'm hoping that that the same thing happens to them that happened in comic book movies. We seem to just click and make comic book movies right now. And video games, I'm hoping you get your chance. But the thing is, it's easy just to get synced in. Ooh, look how cool this is. Let's put it in a movie. That's the mentality of all the Resident Evil movies, by the way.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's really easy to just say, oh, this will look cool. Let's just do this. Story? Fuck that. We can make a giant monster.
Yeah.
With CGI.
I'm really hoping that this Ubisoft does want to do an Assassin's Creed movie. So, kudos to them. Hope it doesn't suck.
Yeah.
I would also, if it's done well, I'm still waiting for a Gears of War movie. But anyway, yeah, thank you for those questions, Goku. Fortunately, we're almost done. We have about 3 more people asking 5 more people asking questions, so hopefully we can get this done. I really want it done.